May I speak to I again?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So where are you now?
I'm just floating around in space.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So we started to speak about your creation, about creating the death and the life, bringing the star a little bit into the beings
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
so they could start learning their lessons.
Yeah.
Would you like to continue, share with me about that evolution?
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, let's see. The interesting thing about death is that I noticed that it started inspiring a better desire for life. When the beings didn't die, they just kind of just did things. There was no limit, there was no boundary. And I remembered that I like to feel the edges of myself. And so there is this essence that death is the ability to feel the edge of oneself. And when I feel the edge of myself, I don't know, I feel safe. And even though a lot of people now on Earth are afraid of death, that's just because the systems have fallen apart to teach about healthy death. But for most of humans, they were not afraid of death. The fear of death is a little bit newer of a thing. Only in the last few thousand years were they afraid of death. Before that, they weren't, because there was just such a beautiful honoring of being alive and getting to experience the creations of the infinite imaginations of I. There was a deep reverence because there was a limited amount of time to actually feel it with skin. I really like coming in and being a human and feeling with skin. Skin's cool. You can feel so many things. It's what I always wished for, skin. I always wished to be able to feel the edges of myself. And the best thing I've been able to figure out how to feel that is with skin. But skin doesn't last forever. Skin wears out because the sun and the rain and just all the things can wear it out. If the person isn't truly turning on their mitochondria on the inside, they can, I've seen it, they do it. The yogis and some of the saints, they live for a very long time and have very beautiful skin for a very long time because they're feeding their spirits, they're feeding that light energy inside themselves. But a lot of humans now, they've forgotten how to really give reverence for the gift of being able to be alive and to have this breath and to have this question, this mystery of how long we'll make it. It's the ultimate adventure for me, because when I'm omniscient and I know that I'm everything forever all the time, then it kind of is like, well, okay, but that's great, but I want something to happen. And so death allows things to happen. Like, there's not just this limitless amount of time and space to exist on. You're in this bounded form with this limited time to exist. And so if a person remembers to listen and to breathe, to activate all their cells, then they can really, really enjoy life and then also really, really surrender that vessel. But when people forget to do all that stuff, then they're just sort of living in this constant fear of annihilation because they think that their egos, they think that their minds are everything. And they just fill themselves with all this worry, and they just are trying to hoard all these resources because they want to live forever, because they don't want to come back to me. Because they've forgotten how precious it all is, and they're not taking very good care of it anymore, of themselves or the planet I made. It was one of my favorites. Earth was really beautiful. It was one of the most... I had so much fun with the water on Earth. Oh my gosh. I cried and cried and cried and cried and cried to make those oceans. Oh, fuck. And then the clouds to make the rain is genius. It's such a sweet, fun system. But the people have forgotten how to give thanks for the breath, to give thanks for life, to give thanks for this illusion, this temporary illusion to be able to feel the edges of ourselves. I so wanted to feel the edge of myself, so I didn't know how it was going to turn out, but I knew when I blew myself up that eventually I'd get to bring myself to the place where I could feel my edges. And it took a long time because the stars don't really have very good edges, and even the spheres of the planets don't have very good edges because they're round. So no matter how far you go, you get the edge against the sky, but you just get that one edge. And so I tried to make shapes that weren't round, but they just broke apart and then turned round again. So humans and life, the life forms around the galaxy, have been the best expressions of feeling, and I love skin. And skin and water is the best. Everyone should swim naked in the water. It's so much better. When you wear those silly clothing that they wear in the water, you can't be the seal. You can't feel all your skin touching the water. It's like ecstasy. It's like you're making love with the water, and all the people wear those stupid little clothings over themselves. It's so silly.
Yeah, I can relate to it. I love swimming naked.
Yeah. But I got distracted. We were talking about death.
Right.
And there's something about knowing your edges. And death is a pretty big edge. You know, it's the end, you think. It's not, but there's this, it's the edge of this conscious, like that little tiny speck of star that I put into the life. When it forgets who it really is and it believes that it's just the body, then it really thinks death is the edge. It's scary. I knew blowing myself up would be scary, but dying can be scary if you forget you're forever. When you think you're just your body and you're dying, like, wow, that is scary stuff to think you're going to be annihilated. Like, what if I was annihilated? That would be silly. That's not going to happen. But people, they have this false belief that they're going to be annihilated, and so they're so afraid of dying. But the really funny thing about fear of dying is that sometimes it makes them not really want to live either. So they're just sort of like not really living, and they're just trying to keep their body safe until they die. It doesn't make any sense. But then you've got all those creatives out there, all those artists, and they're out there. And they might be a little afraid of death, but really what they're doing is they're feeling their edges, they're feeling their skin, and they're making the most of their creation, their ability to create in form. Because it's one thing to like create with light energy, but light energy is so forgiving. It's so kind of free, and like you can sculpt it in so many different ways. But form, matter, it's a lot trickier. It's hard to sculpt form. Like those artists that are sculpting, I love watching them. I love watching the sculptors. It's amazing to see what they can do with matter. Even though it's an illusion, it appears really hard, and it is hard to sculpt. It's way easier to sculpt with liquid and with light. It's so much easier. I really, really like the sculptors. They're awesome. And the musicians, they're sculpting the sound, and then the artists, when they're sculpting with the paint, they're just taking this liquid and then with colors, and then they're making these things that make you feel these things with your eyes and your body. Oh, the artists, I could watch the artists for eternity. I'm so glad I created all the artists, because they're just, they learned what to do. That's the point. The point is with the edges, death is an edge, is to then use the space within the edges to really go wild. That's the point. That's what I always wanted, was to feel the edges so that I could just create and feel the edges of my creation instead of just this infinite sea. It was just like, it wasn't on anything better than the other. Everything was just forever. And I don't know, having edges makes it fun.
Wonderful. Thank you. The question that I have is about how did you create the realms after the death? And what's happening there?
I did not hear what you said. What?
So I'm wondering about the realm after...
Realm?
Like
Realm?
the after the death, for example.
Realm?
Realm, yeah.
Realm. Oh, okay.
Realm.
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 You're wondering about what happens after death?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and how that's being created?
Well, when I just made a couple of little light star seeds, put them into life, it was easy to keep track of them all. And if they needed any help, I could be there if they got into trouble. But once we all started doing it and all the stars were making life, and there was all sorts of different little starlight beings, it was really hard to keep track of them all without a system. So we decided that we needed to create a soul school so that the souls wouldn't get lost out there amongst the vastness and the voids of space, because there's really a lot of space. For a little bitty tiny star, it's like the star. It's like the size of a little atom. It's so small, and it would get very lost out there because, like, we're huge. The big stars that we made are really big.
Yeah.
And so, so we made a school to kind of keep them from getting lost.
Tell me about this school more.
Well, it's actually surprisingly big and surprisingly small. And it's kind of like an energy net. It's not a prison. It's just to keep them safe because they're babies. They're all little baby stars, right? And you can't really be a big star until you really can remember the responsibilities of being all. Because you can't just go around killing each other and being mean to each other and be that big. You gotta train. So when I break off these little tiny bits and then make them forget who they are and give them free will, sometimes they choose things that are, I wouldn't want to give them that much power over a giant star. They could really make some damage, and I don't know what they would do. Like, I know it's all a game, but I don't like that. It doesn't feel good when they do that. And so it's just a little nursery. They get to graduate. Once they graduate, then they get free of the net. So the net's not bad. They might think it is. It's not. I just want to keep them safe. And maybe I'm too protective of them. Maybe I should let them all float around wild, willy-nilly. And they can. They can actually, as they get more advanced, I teach them how to get out of the net so that they can choose. Once I feel like they're ready, then they learn. I teach them how to get out of the net. But for a long time, they'll stay in there because they're not ready to leave because they realize why I built it for them. And so for a long, long time after they know how to get out, they don't. And then they start playing a little bit with getting out. And then they only go out a little bit. It's like kittens when they're born. And they start, they can get out of the nest, but they don't. And then they start to a little bit, but they always come back to the mommy until they're big enough. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's like a little closet. It's like a little nook for the kittens.
I see. So Alice sent me a video of some kind that I did not listen to, but she wanted to know my perspective about it. Maybe you can tell her the perspective that...
Yes. That's just... They're trying to help. But the point is that the light is in you. You are the light. So, and the life review is important, but the point is for you to forgive yourself. If anyone is trying to ever tell you that all the mistakes you made, that you're supposed to be punished for all eternity, and you need to go back and reincarnate in order to get all your lessons, if anyone's forcing you back in, that's bullshit. You always choose to go. And if anyone's giving you a weighted perspective, that's all silly. It's you. You're the one that's reviewing your own life. You're the one that determines whether or not you can be free of the matrix. The matrix, I say that in the love, it's just the energy nest. It's just the nursery. When you think you're ready to leave the nursery, you can. But like Allie, she can leave the nursery. She's been able to leave the nursery for a long time, but she wants to help. She likes to go back and help. She's out. She's been out for a long time. And she doesn't need the net at all. She knows that. But she likes to go back and help. Because after she's been back merged with the knowing of herself And when she merges back with me and we're all together in the place she knows, it's so good. But she wants to help everybody be there because there's still all these beings that are caught in the fear and the despair and the anger and the jealousy and the resentment and the revenge and the scarcity and the pain and the greed. And she feels sad for all those beings. She's good. She just wants to help. She doesn't need to worry about that. And nobody else needs to worry about that shit either. If anyone's trying to force you back into life, then that's an illusion. You don't need to follow that. The light is within you. The light is within all of us. We don't need to follow the light. We need to just go in to find the light. So I don't think, I mean, there might, yeah, I guess there are some beings that want to make these traps, but they're just being silly. They don't have any real power. Don't listen to them. When you die, all you need to do is feel that radiant, clear light that's in you and surrender into that. And then you'll know. You'll be free. You'll feel. So here's the thing. This is why people get confused. When you die, when you pass through that threshold of dissolving and your ego is scared of the annihilation, there's this film you have to kind of punch through. And Allie, how do I describe this? Not everyone feels everyone's. Allie does, because she remembers that she's me. She knows who she is. She knows. And so when she goes through her when she comes to visit me, in order to come and visit me, she has to feel everyone who's ever died. She dies an infinite number of times. She dies in every single way you can die. But it's all real quick, and she knows it. It's just like, but every single way. She's got to be, she's murdered, and she dies of sickness, and she dies of suicide, and she jumps off the cliffs, and she dies in war, and famine, and accidents, and she dies all the ways every human's ever died because she's really the design. She's one of my friends, and she really wants to come back and help, and so it's hard for her to fully let go. So she has to send love to all the dying, to all those that are suffering first, before she feels safe to just surrender into the oneness of the bliss that she really is. It's really commendable what she does. It's really sweet. She dies every single person's death. She's crucified on the cross like Jesus. She dies the way everyone does. She dies for everybody. And then so that she can dance in the eternal bliss with all of us. And then she gets to stay there. And then she realizes that she wants to help again. She really is. I love her. She's so good. She wants to help so much. As all she wants to do is help. And so she comes and plays with me for a while. But then she always wants to go back and help. And I'm glad she does. But I want her to stay and play with me because she's really fun. She's really fun to play with. She's one of my best playmates. She's been helping me with Earth. She's been helping with Earth. There's so many, but Earth's one of my favorites. And she's been helping with Earth for a long time. But she likes to play with me too, and we have so much fun.
Wonderful. So now I would like for you to share with Ali what you came here to do this time and what the service. She wanted to know again.
She knows now. She remembers. So she's here to sing. She knows that. She hears the angels. She hears the choirs of the angels, and she can translate it into the sounds that the humans can hear. And she has the words. She knows how to translate the words to help people wake up, to realize who they really are, that they're me, and I'm them, and she knows, and yeah, she knows she's here to help the people learn to live again, because people aren't living very well anymore. And she came to help everybody live better and die better. So she came to teach people how to live and how to die, to sing to them and to talk to them and to tell them stories and to teach them how to love each other, and so that they're better to each other, and because they're not having very good sex anymore. They used to really, they used to come and find me every time they were making love, and now only a few of them do it. Not very many people really find me when they're making love anymore. They're just dealing with these weird, those base urges right before I gave them the souls, and they just wanted to, they just had this drive just to like gather the energy in order to replicate. Most of them are just doing that. I don't understand why they'd want to do that when they can do what she does.
Tell me, share with me how you can meet with you when you make love. What's the process of?
Allie just wrote about that all day.
Okay, wonderful.
She's already written it down.
So she can share it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's listening really good now. It took a while. She came in and she forgot a lot, but she remembers now. I'm really excited that she remembers now.
Wonderful. She wondered if she need to remember anything from the last temple journey that she did. That you don't remember.
Well, she kind of has an inkling that when she really, really, really remembers that it's true, all the great alchemists and all the great philosophers, it's really just, I know this sounds really silly, but the secret to life is that it's all child's play. We're all just trying on these different costumes. Dying, it's all just child's play. You don't need to be afraid. And you really don't. It's just child's play.
So I wonder why the pain was created.
Well, the pain is because I was trying to fix all the forgetting, because people weren't. The pain, it's the resistance to the pain that's the problem. It's not really the pain so much. It's the resistance to the pain. We get so caught up in our minds thinking that it's only this life, this body. We get so attached to this physical form that we get very resistant to any pain that we feel. But like Allie's gotten really good at feeling the pain and letting it wash over her and allowing it to open all of her cells instead of close them off. That's what most people are doing. Most people have forgotten how to really meditate and how to really connect with themselves and with their breath and with me. And they close themselves off and they get really stressed, and then the pain builds up. So the pain is all of their resistance. And the pain is the resistance to the inevitability of the edges that they're feeling. And so it's good for them. It's good for them too, because since they've forgotten, well, I kind of helped them forget because I wanted to see what would happen if they forgot who I was, who they were, and they had free will. I wanted to see if they could remember. I wanted to see if they could wake up without my help. It was the next level of the great experiment, because when they remembered, then they could do it, and they did it, and it was great. But I wondered how sweet it would be, like with Allie. It's been the sweetest, because she forgot. She totally forgot. And she was so sad and in so much pain and so depressed. But she wouldn't give up, and she just kept being like, I know I'm out there. I know it can happen. And she didn't give up, and she just kept searching and searching and searching. And then when she found me, yeah, it's that exquisite, getting to remember for the first time again. That's why I did it. That's why I exploded. Was so that in complete forgetting and complete free will, then you can wake up and join me in the eternal bliss again. And she did it. She did it. She did it. She does it. She keeps doing it. It's so good. It's so good. She can hardly stand it. It's so good, but she keeps doing it. And she can help other people do it. It's so good.
Wonderful. She actually wanted to know if she needs to facilitate those kind of journeys.
Yeah, she needs to be careful, but yes, because if she can help people, not everyone needs this. It's a whole thing. Some people just need her stories. Some people need a song. Some people need the book. Some people need the medicine. Some people just need to change their lives and surrender to their own bullshit. Some people need this medicine. She needed it. She was really lost. She was forgetting, and she was going down the road to killing herself with illness because she was so not living into her own life. So this really helped her. So if it can help other people, then yeah, she can do it. But she needs to be careful because not everyone wants us to have our own light. They want us to be dependent. It's like in the water. It's like back at the very beginning when I was telling you about Ollantay Tambo and how they're one of the only villages that didn't have their water, their free-flowing water in their towns destroyed. The reason why the conquistadors destroyed all the water is so that they could have control. And there's these beings that have forgotten that they're these eternal beings, and they think it's just this life, and so they're trying to just hoard everything for this one life so that they can live as good as they can just for the next 50 to 100 years. It's just such a ridiculously small amount of time, and they give away so much of their power by trying to control other people. It's really sad. I feel so sad for them, and I really want them to wake up. Allie might be able to do it, because she's so silly and funny. She might be able to convince them. She might be able to show them that it can be way better when they don't try to control everybody else. She might have the magic. We're not sure, because it's all a game, and we don't know how it's going to turn out, and that's the fun mystery of it all. But she has a good chance.
So tell me more about what the ways that can be done. Her or other people.
Well,
what are the chances of that?
We have a good chance, I think. I think we do. I know it looks bad. It's really hard. It's so sad to see all those beings dying. It's so hard to see. I hate seeing all the waters getting polluted. Oh, it's so sad. But the funny thing is that it's just the reflection of what's in us. And she realized that last night. It was just that all that pollution and all that pain, it's all just bits in her own self that she hasn't let go of. And I guess I just need to let go of it all. I'm trying. But because I played the game, I don't know how to reset the game.
Okay.
And so I kind of think everybody has to come back and they have to awaken to me. They have to awaken to that I am them.
So
and it's the time for that. So through the work you're doing, Ron, because you're the bridge builder and you're helping people remember, and Allie's helping people remember, we all just really need to keep having faith. I know it looks scary out there and it seems like it's the end. And even if it is and we all die, it doesn't matter. It's just an illusion because it's just this edge, just this one little edge you're playing with. And then once it goes away, then there'll be another edge to work with, and it's all good. And so in this planet, though, because Earth is so beautiful, and I do want it to be healthy and happy again, but it was I played the game so that I chose to separate my consciousness into all these little bits, and I chose to give the humans a free will, and I can't take it back now.
Yeah.
The only way I can take it back is if I just wipe you all out. And I don't want to. I could. It wouldn't take anything except a song. But I think you can do it. I'm holding out for you guys because I love the artists and the sculptors. They're really listening. They're really listening, even with all the forgetting. It's so beautiful. I love seeing how deep the artists are reaching for the truth, even when these times are so scary and so many people are so afraid and they're fighting against each other and killing each other and wanting to imprison each other and enslave each other for this control so they can have these magnificent hoards of money so that they can live like kings for 50 years. But my darlings, you do that, and when you die, you're going to feel terrible about that all, and you're not going to let yourself come play with me. You're going to make yourself want to come back. You're going to come back as one of those being starving of famine. You chose that because of the way you were living, you guys. You're doing it to yourselves. I want you to come play with me. Forgive it. It doesn't matter what you did. From now on, choose love and come play with me. Come on. It's just child's play. You just gotta let yourself play and stop worrying about your mountains of gold and your power and all your stuff. All that technology, that's nonsense. It's whatever. It's like you have that all inside yourself. You are telepathic. You can create all the energy you need. You just gotta remember. You can do it. Come play.
I want to ask you something about this virus that she might have inside of her. Can you do a body scan and find it for me? Is it still there?
It's weakening.
Did you find it?
Yes.
Would you allow me to speak with it, please?
You want to speak with the virus?
Yeah. Focus on its energy, please. And bring it up, up, up so it could express itself. May I speak with it, please? Thank you. Hi. Wonderful. Thank you for coming forward. I'm really happy to speak with you today. I want to help you to do something really nice. I just learned that there's a spark within your form, a beautiful spark, the spark that created you. And now I want you to take this spark, this beautiful spark, and make it as big, as big, as big as you can. As big, as big, as big as you can, until it encloses all your form. Wonderful. Does it feel nice, right? Yeah, it feels really nice. Make it bigger, 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 bigger. And now I want you to float up, 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 up from the top of her head, and I want to call the light beings to assist you to go all the way into the light. All the way, do you see now? When you go out, 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 you can see the light. And you can go right into that light. Be there in the light now, and tell me when you're there.
I don't want to.
Are you in the light?
I don't want to.
You don't want to be there?
I want to go in the light. I want to be here.
But I want to make you feel something. And maybe you learn something there, and then you'll see if you'll come back or you'll stay there. I want you to go all the way. Take all the essence with you. All your essence. Tell me when you're all gathered. Tell me when you're all gathered. Collect yourself from all the cells.
Yeah.
Very good. And now you go up, 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 up. Did you go up from the top of the head?
Yeah.
And what do you see there?
Dark.
So now I'm going to call the archangel to assist you. Go up, 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 up. Up, 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 up. Where are you now?
I'm swirling about.
What do you see?
Oh. I was afraid.
From what? Now you can release this fear completely. You don't need that anymore, you see? Let it go. Send it into the light for healing. Release this fear completely. And tell me, what would you like to replace it with?
We'll replace it with light.
Light. Let's fill it up with light now. Tell me when it's all full. Fill it up with light. Is it all full?
Yeah.
So now you can move into the light. Deep into the light. Are you there?
Yeah.
Look down to your body and tell me about your form. What are you now?
These little red light. These little threads. They're like these little cluster of worms.
Wonderful. Now I want to invite your guides to be with you there. Connect with them telepathically and tell me, what do you hear? Do you hear anything?
No.
Okay, very good. But how do you feel being there in the light?
It's okay.
Okay, I want you to feel now love. So I want you to release now any feeling, that is heavy on you. Release it into the light. I want to help you more. Release any of the heaviness into the light. You don't need that anymore. Do you have any message would you like to say to Ali?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I hurt you. I was just afraid that you would be too big, too bright, and you wouldn't need any of this anymore. I see now. You were afraid. You were holding on to all the things you saw and all the things that people do to hurt each other. You were trying to take it all on, so you grew me way too big. Because you were trying to heal everybody and you didn't know how. I'm sorry.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for this lovely message. Now may I speak with the consciousness of Ali? Would you like to release this today?
Yes, she's been releasing it. It is going.
Very good. Would you like to say anything to that? Release it with love and forgiveness.
There's these beings on earth that have been feeding off of fear instead of love. They've forgotten how to feed off the light in their own light. They become parasites and they infect the people to make them be afraid, and they feed off the fear. So they want you to be afraid. That's why you were so afraid yesterday to take the medicine again, because it was me really that was afraid. And I'm in the hearts of a lot of people. I'm sorry. I forgot that I can make my own light, and I thought I needed yours, and you're so bright that I thought that if you were so bright, you'd wake up all the other people, and then there wouldn't be anybody to feed me. So I thought if I kept you sick, then you wouldn't wake everybody else up, and then I would be able to feed off all this fear. And I'm sorry. You're right. It's not the way I want to feed. It's not good. It doesn't taste good. It doesn't taste good. I'm sorry. I want to taste the light. I do. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much for this message. And now you're in the light, and you can now send the light into her body to help with healing her completely, to replace you. Send it to all the places you've ever been before. And you can also collect yourself from all the other beings you are connected to. If you are outside of Ali and other beings, collect your essence from them too. Collect all your essence. And replace it with the light from the source. Describe what you're doing as you do it, please. What are you doing now?
I don't know.
Okay, very good. Let's take another deep breath. Who am I speaking with now? May I speak to the virus?
I don't know. I'm scared of it.
Okay, so let's take another deep breath. May I speak to I, please? Just release completely. Going to the most beautiful place. Blue whale. Take another deep breath and double the relaxation. Blue whale.
It's not really a virus.
Mm-hmm.
It's the mind that's afraid.
Mm-hmm.
I can't coalesce it from here. I can't just coalesce it all from everyone all at once, because it's in everyone's individual mind and everyone has free will.
Okay.
They all have to choose it.
I see.
It's not really a virus. It seems like it. It's more they planted fear in her, and the fear seeds grew, and she believed the stories they were telling, and she created the virus herself because she believed the stories, but she doesn't believe them anymore, and so it is disintegrating within her.
Okay.
And that's good.
Wonderful.
But I don't know how to just magically make it all lift from everyone, because it's everyone's fear in their own minds that they have to face themselves.
Nice.
People aren't facing themselves. They're not sitting, they're not breathing, they're not singing their heart songs, they're not praying really. They're going through the motions of praying, but they're not really trying to talk to me. They just come asking me for all this stuff. They just want me to give them all this stuff. They're not actually coming to tell me how beautiful this planet is and how amazing just the chance of getting to live is. But most people are afraid of the pain.
Yeah.
They're afraid. They don't realize that the pain is them resisting their own selves. They're resisting their own inner natures. And the society has gotten really good at making them afraid of their own inner natures. And so they turn their beautiful natures into these viruses that destroy them and keep them small, and it perpetuates the system. It's very interesting that fear can do this. And yet, it's a natural drive of need. When I made the original light digesters, it created this need to... The light digesters were within ourselves, so we were sustainable. We were these free, sustainable things. But then when I brought the death into it, there was this forgetting, and there was this mistake in belief that then because they were going to die, that they would eat other beings in order to live longer, and that's not really true. And now humans have come for such a long time with eating other things, and that's fine. I mean, I don't mind. They're happy to eat the plants, and They can even eat some of the animals if they do it just a little bit and with love and reverence, but they just kill everything without even thinking it anymore. And every time they do that, then they eat it, and they eat that animal, and then that animal's being goes into their cells, and they didn't say thank you. And so then that feeds that fear too, that not saying thank you, that then that poor animal suffered and died and it didn't even get a thank you. And so it's afraid. It doesn't want to come back, because what if it ends up having to be one of those animals? And so everyone's afraid because they've been treating each other so badly. They're all afraid of dying because they're afraid they're going to come back as one of these impoverished, crazy people living on the streets. And those poor people are just so sensitive that they've gotten taken over by the fear, and they don't know how to exist in this crazy world, and they've given up. So Allie's disintegrating the virus because it's not really a virus. What it really is her own, it's her believing the fear stories that have been fed to her. And the meat that is fed to her all her life. She didn't know she was eating all that fear, but she was. And her cells were she was building her own body with the cells of fear from the animals that died in the factory farms. The system is broken, and all I can do is help people like her and you and anyone who wants to listen wake up, so that you can start cleansing. And she's been cleansing, and that's why the virus, it's not really a virus, we'll call it that for the ease, but it's really just the thought seeds of fear that have planted in her cells and have started to grow. And so as she continues to clear and cleanse and only eat good food that comes from love and gratitude being given when it was taken, and realizing that she can actually feed herself, she can eventually wake up her own mitochondria and her own cells enough to generate the life-sustaining energy that she needs, and she has to eat way less. And it's true, though, that humans did evolve for a long time eating, and so there is an aspect of eating that does help keep the matter coalesced. So it's not that you don't eat at all, but we don't need to eat nearly so much as we eat. And really eating the meat from the factory farms, the poor baby, she's just been, and then she got filled with all those weird chemicals, because when she was born premature, they stuck all these weird chemicals into her body. And she didn't know how to deal with them all, and so she kind of walled them off and kind of like tried to block them off. And those seeds got fed by the fear from all the weird things she was eating and all the strange chemicals they were feeding everybody back then and still now. And those things those things seeded and started to grow. And so she's been pulling those weeds, and she's doing much better. And with time, they will all subside. And she can let go of the belief that it was a virus that was planted in her. Because it's true that it was, but it wasn't what she thinks. It was it was fear. They planted fear in her, and her body can rid it. And so there's not a consciousness of the virus I can talk to so much. It's just an aspect of her that was afraid of the stories she was given and the energy she was feeling by eating the animals of the beings that had been killed without a thank you, that she kind of coalesced all them and stuck them in the closet and didn't know what to do with them. Just no one taught her what to do with. Nobody teaches any of us what to do with any of that energy, and we need to learn to start really breathing and cleaning all of our cells and sending all of that pain back into the earth, and then choosing not to infect ourselves with more of that. And we need to it's getting better. There are more and more people that don't want to eat meat that's been enslaved and tortured. But when we eat that kind of stuff, then we plant the fear inside of ourselves. And that grew, and that grew. And that was the virus, is because she is very bright. And everything that she sees around her shows her that if she shines super bright, that she will be killed. All the movies, all the entertainment, all shows that they all want to inspire us to get up and live our truth, but then everyone's trying to kill us all the time whenever we do that. And so, of course, she was afraid. And so she's eating that fear and knowing how bright she is, and eating the fear and knowing how bright she is. And so it turns into the virus. But the only way to cure the virus, I can't do it for everyone without wiping out everybody. Everybody has to do it themselves. But you all can, and we just need more bridge builders and more singers and more storytellers and more sculptors and more artists and more people helping people to let go of the fear thoughts in their heads, so that we can create a new society where people are healthy and happy and loving each other. But everyone's so scared that they won't have enough to eat, and everyone's just trying to get enough for themselves because everyone's afraid, because they think that this is their only body. And they just got to remember that they're experiencing existence through the temporary lens of themselves, who chose to do this whole crazy game just so that we had the exquisite epiphany possibility of discovering our own edge, learning that we are this embodied form of the divine, so that we can surrender into that knowing and live our true purpose and not be afraid of death, so that we can truly live and we can truly be of service. Like, that's the point, is the paradise on earth is totally possible. And she's awakening to that, and many of us are awakening to that.
Yeah.
And so she was such a bright light, and she knows that that's why she came, is because for so long humans have been forgetting this. And so that's the whole, all the volunteers, it's all just bits of all of my star friends from all around that all want to come and help.
Yeah.
And we had to choose the forgetting and the free will in order to come. And so we all have to each wake up. And so the more she sings the songs and tells the stories, and you tell your stories too, the more we tell the stories, the more people are going to wake up. And the more people we wake up, then we'll all start learning how to properly breathe and breathe into all of ourselves, to wake up ourselves, so they learn how to eat the light within themselves, so that they can eat less food, and the food that they eat that they know is grown from giving lots of thank yous. Thank yous to the soil, thank yous to the seeds, thank yous to the animals that make the nutrients in the soils. Thank you for the animals that died in order to make the soil. Thank you for the trees that died. Thank you for the trees that live to give us the breath. We need to really be giving real thank yous. People sit and they pray and they give grace at the table, but most of them are thinking about other things and they're just wanting it to be over so they can stuff their food in their mouths. People aren't really doing it. They're pretending. Most of them are pretending to say thank you. They need to give real thank yous. Once they start giving real thank yous, then they will start to heal the virus within themselves when they really feel the thank you for everything that they have, even if it's the simplest thing. And even that poor child starving in Ethiopia, unfortunately, like, I do my best to take care of all those poor beings, but the thing is that you chose to come in, that being chose to come in and experience that because of the way it acted. And if you keep, that's you. If you're living on that top of the mountain on your hoards of gold and you're not helping other people wake up, then you're going to, when you die, you're going to want to come back and do that. No one's going to force you. It's not some trick. It's not some, this review process is not a trick. It's real. It's all the, you've done so many horrible things to yourselves and to each other and to me. And you have to forgive it. And you don't have to come back in order to forgive it. Most of you want to because you don't think you'll actually get the lessons if you just come back and surrender it all to me. But that's why this work is so important. This temple work is so important because it gives you a pathway to me to let go of that stuff in this lifetime, so you don't have to keep perpetuating the endless cycles of reincarnation. And you can choose to come back when you wished in order to help. But soon, hopefully, enough of you will be awakening so that you don't have to keep coming back to help. And we'll come back to a system of balance. And perhaps the Earth experiment will end, and perhaps I'll let it keep going if the jewels and the gems of awakening keep happening. But we just need to start really with just the thank yous. If you want to dismantle the virus of fear within you, you need to start giving real thank yous. Really feel it. Feel it in every cell, remembering that every single cell of your body is being nourished by that you're taking into yourself. And how was it grown? And how was it harvested? Was it harvested with a thank you? Was it planted with a thank you? Was the soil thanked? Did the animal die in peace, or did it just die after being enslaved and alone? Like, be careful where you're getting your meat. Be careful where you're getting your food. Demand to have it be better. Demand to have it be local. Demand to have it be healthy and happy. The markets are changing. They will adjust. And it's very possible that that the powers that be, they have a lot of power and they have a lot of influence and they have a lot of fear, and it's very possible that they will try to kill some of us in order then to try to surrender to the divine balance of it all. So just trust that if you get killed, that you'll be able to come back, or that energy will get shifted into another being and the mission will go on. So you don't need to be afraid if for some reason you get caught up in the entanglements of the fear. You will be all right. The whole plan will be all right. Just keep going. Keep doing it until you can't do it anymore, and then someone else will step in if you get taken out, until everyone stops with this fear game and stops killing each other and stops destroying the earth. You are choosing this. The majority of the consciousness is so ashamed of the way that they've been behaving over the last several hundred years, that they have brought on this destruction that possibly is making the whole entire earth experiment questionable, because they are choosing that humans might not be worthy of stepping up and rejoining with I. But you can. Keep working to be in service of the awakening. Keep saying real thank yous. Keep singing your songs and telling your stories. Keep doing this work of opening up the bridges to help people connect with themselves. Keep doing the good work. Trust in that if it's your time to go, you will. And trust that the light is within you and that the life review is real, but it's for you to truly choose, and choose with an open heart. Truly learn to forgive the mistakes that you've made. Learn about the ignorance that you've made out of fear. All of these decisions that you've made have been out of fear. When you are in that place, you can truly choose to let it all go. You do not have to come back and repay it unless you truly want to. If anyone forces you to do it, then it is a trick, and don't listen. There is no one forcing you. This is completely a free will project. I stand behind that, and if any of you want out and you truly don't think you have your soul, your star self doesn't have any more lessons to learn, you do not have to come back. You can be a little star. You can shine disembodied, but there is an exquisiteness of feeling edges. There is an exquisiteness of meeting your beloved again for the first time. It's that same exquisiteness that I felt when I chose to explode myself. It's that beauty of being able to find edges and becoming embodied, putting a little bit of a star inside of this life form is the best way I've ever found to come back and discover God for the first time again. And the exquisiteness of discovering my own divinity for the first time has been the most precious gift I have ever received, and I am so eternally grateful for this process.
Mm.
And I pray that each one of you can find it too. So listen to Allie, listen to the bridge builders, listen to the singers, listen to the artists, listen to the sculptors. They truly are forging the path back to balance and back into oneness with love.
Mm.
Trust it. Listen.
Thank you so much. I wanted to ask you if I'm wondering what the best collaboration for Ali and myself.
Yes, you're both bridge builders.
I'm wondering if it's good for her to do sessions like that, seen by a group, in person.
Yes. However, everyone must be silent in the beginning. At the very beginning, she gets very distracted by the sounds. And it's possible that at first she might feel a little self-conscious. So it's possible that if she struggles to drop into the place, that perhaps a little curtain or something could keep her invisible for a moment until she's deep enough into trance.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible with time she will not need that, and she may not need it at all, but she is concerned that perhaps she will not be able to fully let go when she's being watched by so many people, especially if those people are fidgeting and shuffling and making lots of noise. So that's the only trick, is that at the beginning, if people are talking and coughing and shuffling, it will be harder for her to enter. Once she's entered, then I think that it would be fine. And I think that there is a goodness in this service, and at the same time, perhaps is it time yet? Perhaps soon.
Would it be possible to try tomorrow when we do the event to put everyone into a guided meditation and assist everyone to be in quiet, and then maybe put her keywords so she can go into deep trance while everyone meditating to share a message from I for the group? Maybe after her sound or something like that.
Yes. I think we could try. Yes.
Would you be willing to give a message for the group? I?
Yes.
Wonderful. Would you...
However, it is not the appropriate time to work on Allie's specific healing. That is vulnerable and intimate.
Mm-hmm.
And there shall be no recording in the space.
No recording in the space?
No video, no video of her yet. No,
No
not
video.
Ready.
But
No, she's not
recording
ready for
for
that.
the sound, would that be appropriate?
Yes, you may record the sound.
Okay. Would you be able to give a light language transmission to assist with the healing of everyone?
Yes.
Wonderful.
That sounds like fun.
Yay. Wonderful. Would you like to give any light language now?
She needs water.
Mm-hmm. So take another deep breath, and I'm going to go bring some water.
She has some right here.
Mm-hmm. So, bring it into your arms. Pour it out.
Shasta water.
Shasta water. Wonderful. I'm giving you a cup. You can replace the water with this. Mm-hmm. Very good. Now you can close your eyes and go back into trance. Take a deep breath to let go completely again. Blue whale. May I speak to I?
You guys should write a book together. That would be fun.
Mm-hmm. I was feeling that too. We'll have more guidance of that too as well.
I think the vessel needs to sit up.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask you first, can you focus on the throat and tell me what's happening there? She told me from yesterday she had a little itching there. Bring light into there and tell me, what do you see?
Oh, well, she caught a little cold when she was out east, and it's the remnants of that little virus. Plus, she did some deep spiritual cleansing and retching of some of the residues of the fear. And it got a little stuck there. She screamed quite a bit as well, as she does.
Yeah.
As she screams the sounds of all the angels all at once. And it will clear soon.
Mm-hmm.
Not concerned, but may take a little time to resolve.
Mm-hmm. Can we open a vortex above that to send the residues into the light?
Yes.
Thank you. Release all this energy back into the light for healing. Then what would you like to replace it with?
Clear channel.
Clear channel. Fill it up with this energy. Wonderful. Take another deep breath. May I speak to I, please?
Yes, hello.
Hello. I wonder if would you like to give any transmission now?
Yes. But she needs to sit up.
Okay. So I'm going to help her do that.
You should keep her eyes closed.
Mm-hmm. So now taking a moment to drop in, to release completely, keeping the eyes closed. Connecting to I again.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for that. Take another deep breath and you can lay on the back for another moment of relaxation. Another deep breath and doubling the relaxation. One more deep breath and connecting with I again. May I speak with I, please?
Yeah.
Thank you for coming forward again. It was wonderful. Thank you for allowing that. Do you have any final message would you like to give today?
I like sculpting. Sculpting the light, sculpting the earth, sculpting the love, sculpting life. We are all creators. Each one of us, you, me, I. We all have such divine gifts. You are not separate, you are not forsaken, you are not alone. It's all an illusion. Trust in the whispers of your heart. Sing your songs, sculpt your clay, paint your masterpiece. For yourself or for the millions, it does not matter. For you are sculpting for the joy of I. I see all your creations. I join you in the ecstasy and the agony of all of your pursuits, all of your creativity. I love you so much. Keep playing. Come play with me.
There's a few questions that she asked regarding her book. If to use the painter for her children's book that she's using now or to change it. Do you want to give her advice about that? Or should we keep it for future?
I believe that it is possible that she could be the artist if she truly wants to do it in her heart, yet I'm feeling that she is a bit overstretched and it is not her highest priority. It does seem true that perhaps she is not listening very well to the story. And although she has a good channel to the divine, we can tune to so many frequencies. So the question is to really find out if it's in her heart to truly do it, or if she's just doing it for one more project, one more jewel to add to her collection, or whether her heart is truly moved to do it. That was why you chose her, was because she said she cried when she read your story. But it seems like she might be too busy right now, and she's not truly giving it her full attention and time. And she's trying to give you a little bit here and there, but she's not really dedicating her energy to it. And so if her heart is not truly committed to it, then I believe that another artist will come forth who is truly moved to want to bring these stories to life. And you can publish these stories as a collection without the pictures if you need to. You can get these stories out and then eventually bring them out as children's books, each one individual. There are so many different ways you can do it. It does not matter. You could even do the drawings yourself if you wanted to.
That's very good advice. And what about her ear? Why is she still having issues there?
Oh, as she will acknowledge, they have gotten tremendously better.
Yeah, she did say.
She has been struggling with this her entire life, and although the healing is rapid and swift in the material realm, time is a reality. It is true that instant healing can happen. I have seen it has happened. As she truly comes more in alignment with her trust and her faith, and that what she is hearing from the divine is true, then she will get complete and pure healing in her ears. But let her give her solemn and sincere thank yous for the relief from the clog that she used to experience. It is a huge blessing that she just got this recent cold virus and still her ears did not fully clog.
Yeah.
That's a blessing. And as she continues to cleanse and continues to listen, it will resolve itself soon. Very soon. She's been quite patient.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Do you want to give her any message about her living situation?
Keep visualizing the place that you want with all the things that you desire, all the dreams that you want to coalesce. Keep holding that vision over the next couple of months. And then when you return, the way will be clear.
I'm wondering how she's doing with how do you say it? She was mentioning that she's sometimes having a hard time to just I can say it in English. Comprastinate? No. When you delay things, when you don't do
Procrastinate.
Procrastinate.
Ah, yes.
How she's doing with that?
She is doing much better. She is doing much better. We are proud of her. She is making good steps. She's breaking out of the inertia, of the stagnation. She's breaking free from the fear. These next steps in her life will help bring her in further alignment with the clarity of her channel. She can trust that she is on the right track now. She needs to be mindful and keep awake about her addictions to the distractions that she chooses, to her phone. And
what is the root cause of this addiction to the phone? Can you go to the root, see what caused that? The energies?
Fundamentally, she is searching to truly always feel connected to Source. And she has these waves of feeling very connected to Source and then sometimes not. And in the waves of feeling not, she is searching for her connection back to that. And in the past, there have been times that she was on her phone and searching for things that she found nuggets that brought her into connection. And so she's seeking the magic. She's seeking to hear from me through her phone. And as she remembers that it is just within her, then she will come into a healthier balance. And the procrastination has come into that because there is this part of her that has all these visions and dreams and songs in her head, but they are not yet manifest in the world, yet there is this part of her in the timelessness that they already exist, and so she's sort of expecting and hoping to see them reflected back to her in her phone, and yet she has not yet created them in the material world. So once she catches up with herself and slows down and speeds up and finds that balance right in the perfect spot, that sweet spot in the center point of herself, then her creativity will flow and she will manifest those into the physical world. And once she manifests those into the physical world, then she will begin to hear the responses and the calls from her allies that are going to come when they hear her songs and they hear her stories. It will wake them up and they will come to help her. So she's expecting a call from them. She's expecting to hear from them. but yet she hasn't sent out the signal loud enough yet. They haven't heard her yet. She is starting to send out the signal. It is starting to expand, but she needs to send it out more. And once she truly materializes that into our modern world and gets her signal out into the frequencies, then she will receive the call she's been waiting for.
Wonderful. So now I would like you to release from her subconscious the link between source, finding source in her phone. Of course, she can find source in anything, but releasing that imprint, that link between her phone and the connection to source.
What playmates do? She's wanting to connect with her playmates. Like the stars. We've taken some space.
So
flown wide, and she's checking up on all of her stars.
Wonderful. So what would be the good perspective for her that won't make her feel that it's abused?
It's best, she needs a specific routine. So when she wakes up, first her big glass of water with lemon and apple cider vinegar, and then she needs some movement, some yoga to get her blood going, and she needs to sit. After she sits, she can have a big glass of green juice and then choose how she wants to spend the rest of her day. At that point, once she's done her full practice, then she may check, but only for a period of 15 minutes maximum. Then, after that, she gets to work and then has some solid food around midday, and then begins to do her work of her recordings and her websites and her stories and her writing. Then she needs to take a few breaks and get some movement in. She needs to take another small pause, like a shavasana rest, some yin yoga. And once more in the evening, she may also check. Now, there are certain days on office days where she's doing correspondence that she can engage, but she is only to have a maximum of 15 minutes per day of any sort of just wild meandering. If she has a purpose, she can search, but she needs a break from the scrolling. She's about to have entire 30 days without her phone. This is going to help reset her balance. And then after that, she's going to be out of the country for a few weeks. That's also going to help her reset her balance. She needs to stay busier. She needs to get moving on her project and on her mission. The reason why she's kind of addicted to her phone is because she's still in this pause and resting place, and she has a lot of spaciousness. And so she's filling those wide spaciousnesses. But once she's fully activated and engaged in her path, then she won't have nearly as much time in order to engage those idle procrastinations. But she's doing much better. We are quite proud of her. She's doing good work. Keep going. Keep doing it. You've got this. You're doing really good.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And something we wanted to ask is about how we're going to get the funding for the new schools, of the next step to create the new earth.
There will be many different sources. There will be many different sources. We must begin. We must begin with the plans, and we must begin taking the small steps so that the people with the resources can see the pure-heartedness, that we aren't waiting to get started until we have the money, but we are going ahead and getting started with faith that the money will come. So start in small ways, and then trust that the right people will align and want to donate their financial resources, that energy, in order to bring it into the manifest world. Once the clear plan is created, then proposals can be taken to different philanthropic organizations. It's best if she gets a nonprofit status with her ministry so that she can receive tax-deductible donations. You too, Ron.
Wonderful. We wanted to learn about the ministry more. What do you recommend about the ministry?
She has begun. The ministry is many parts. The ministry is the song and the stories and the teachings and the channelings. In this day and age, many of these sharings are done through video and audio recordings. So it will be best to lean into this as well deeply, because it can be disseminated to many people with small amounts of resources.
Mm-hmm.
So really begin to put your energy into the videos and the audios, and the right people will hear them. There needs to be a request for the funds. It's fine to offer things as gifts, but also remind people that in order to continue to give, that we are in this place of needing financial support to keep the material energies flowing.
Mm-hmm.
The right people will come. The right people will come. I will help.
Wonderful. So it's remind me, maybe I can ask about the platform that I'm creating, source.energy, platform for the channels and to share this information.
Repeat, what is the name?
Source.energy.
That's funny. That sounds much like the one that Allie has called sourcecodecenter.1.
Can you repeat that? Source dot?
She has sourcecodecenter.1, O-N-E. It's surprisingly similar to yours.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Very nice. So, what is the most important? Okay, so this platform is to share those channelings and information from source. And the struggle is to find the right people to collaborate with to make that platform the most
The most successful?
Yeah, and easy and successful. I'm trying to see exactly what the question is. Is there anything would you like to refer to that first?
Allie's energy reserves are almost complete. I feel this question best to be marinated on, and she will have access beyond this session in order to brainstorm more possibilities for you and for you both.
Beautiful, I love that. So we're going to learn more. So let's take another deep breath. I want to align her back to her energy, fill her up with light and love, so she will wake up, she'll feel wonderful all over, light, able to focus and integrate all this information easily. Thank you for all the information today, I appreciate it a lot.
My pleasure.
I want to thank all the guidance, and now